We're going to talk about fermenting feed. Okay, so we've got our Sunrise Farms non-GMO feed. Babe, roll the clip on the delivery of this feed, please.
So the girls and I went berry picking today, and I remembered that we had this big old gem getting delivered. Now that we're trying to be a little bit more intentional with buying bulk feeds and buying just bulk things in general, we invested in some non-GMO laying mash. They just dropped it off here, and then we're gonna take it up to our house.
It's not that hard.
And it opens at the top. It opens at the top.
Here's what our feed looks like in the bulk form, okay? So we're feeding about 4 scoops, which is roughly between 8 and 10 pounds of feed. It's about half of a 5-gallon bucket full. That is feeding all of our chickens here. All right, so we got the feed. We got the harp. What do you think? Should we show them how we ferment it? All right, let's do it. Ladies and our gentlemen, they are excited. They know feed's coming. So we'll go ahead and give this first batch of feed to them dry, so they are content. So one cool thing you can do if you're trying to clear an area is dump some feed right on the ground. So back to fermenting. We've got our feed in here. This is a little less than 1/4 of a bucket. And what you're gonna do, I'm gonna find the end of my hose here. Oh, that's all the way up here. What do you think? Alright, but all we're going to do, we're going to wet this feed down really, really good. Make sure it gets all soaked in there. I'm not going on a high pressure just because I don't want a bunch of the dust to fly out. So we're going to cover this feed. I want about 2 inches of water over top, okay? So what this water is going to do, it's going to soak into this feed. It's going to make it more plentiful. It's going to fill them up quicker. So your birds will actually eat less food. You can do this with pigs, you can do this with cows if you're feeding grain. Alright, and then I've got my apple cider vinegar here. We're going to open up. You can already see it bubbling in there. Look at that. All that's soaking in. Just a shot of apple cider vinegar. What that apple cider vinegar is going to do is going to kickstart that fermentation process. So, add a little bit more water, make sure all the apple cider vinegar gets mixed in. Alright. And then we'll set this in the pole building. And we're gonna let it ferment overnight. I mean, they are gonna go absolutely nuts. And it's really cool to see them go crazy over it, because it's a way to take your feed and make it last even longer. And one other thing I want to point out, like while we're on this spot, this area was just jungle. I mean, it looked like this the whole way through. And you can see, I mean, they're clearing it up really well. And we got some butterfly bushes in here. This was the previous owner's herb garden. So you can see the structure that they had. Here, they got another bed over here. What we're trying to do is we're trying to clear it all out. Trying to get all the grass out, which, you know, we're gonna have to put some manual labor into this as well, but that's part of the process. The other thing going on over here is our compost pile, which I feed on top of the compost pile to encourage this. And we will dive into the compost pile deeper later this week. That's another of our sneak peek of our self-sufficiency videos coming out this week. Really excited about this week and sharing this info with you guys. And hopefully you learn something from it. You can take something from this and really improve your homestead, improve what you're doing. Hey guys, we're back on day 2 here. So we've got our fermented feed, and here's what it's going to look like. You see, it kind of just looks like slop a little bit, but that is the same amount of feed that I've been feeding, just the 4 scoops. This is about 2 scoops and fermented, and it's going to feed the same as doing 4 scoops. So probably a 50% savings in the feed. What do you think, Mama?
Smells interesting. Smells fermented.
Yeah, that apple cider vinegar really does a wonder. Oh, we got a little mama out. And our little chicks are going crazy. What's mama doing? What's mama doing? Chickens just absolutely love when we ferment their feed. They like it even more because what happens is the feed starts breaking down and it's easier to digest. You think about it like, you know, when you do a steer, you let it hang for like, you want to let it hang for, I mean, we like to go try to do 6 to 8 weeks hanging a steer. It's the same idea. That bacteria starts breaking down that feed and makes it easier to digest. So not only are they getting the benefit of the feed, they're also getting the apple cider vinegar already in their feed. So you don't have to add it to their water or anything. You're double your efficiency on the feed. It takes half of the amount of feed to feed these guys now. An outstanding hack when it comes to homesteading. If you want to try to cut your feed cost, if you want to have some happier chickens, some healthier chickens, healthier ducks, healthier geese, you name it, you can do it.